Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is the first time that you are stopping in. Thank you for spending a little time here with me today. I'm Tina, and I hope you enjoy your stay here with me. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me again in another video. All right, so I am doing something. I am doing something that I've never done before. I'm excited and a little nervous about it all at the same time. All right, so I recently got an Erin Condren LifePlanner, and the Life Planner that I picked up is an 18-month planner. Now, the reason why I got an 18-month planner is because I wanted to have I kind of wanted to have a bigger coil. Okay, I had been watching a lot of YouTube videos and hearing a lot of things from a lot of different creators that they recommend when you order the Life Planner to get it for the 18-month, which is only offered in July. So I don't know how long they offer it. Let's put it that way, the 18 months. What I'm going to do is I want to thin the planner out, because look at how chunky that is. So once I start adding stickers in here, then the planner is going to get like really chunky. So I want to kind of slim it down a little bit for that reason. The other thing is that I have a plan on how to set this up, but I am going to be using some notes pages. Now, in these planners, the notes pages are at the very back. So there's a whole section here of notes that is all the way at the back here. So I don't want my notes to be at the back. I want them to be up at the front. So I want to move these. I think I'm going to take out these stickers, because honestly, I feel like in the back of the book, I'm gonna just not remember that they're there. And then it does come with this nice folder, which I was thinking about moving. Oh, I don't need that in there. Take that out now. I was thinking about moving this as well, and I still might move this. So we'll see. Either it stays there or it's going to move. So my notes, I want to move them up here. So we've got this 2022-23 tab, and then we've got these pages, and then it goes into the month. So I want to move my notes tab here. I like that idea. It's going to be right up front. I can open it up at a glance, and it's going to be way more useful for me to have my notes pages up in front. Just a little note, Erin Condren, if you're watching, I think that that is a much better placement for notes. Just saying. All right, so how am I going to do this? I'm going to uncoil the planner. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm gonna do it. I have been like thinking about it. I've watched a few YouTube videos on it. I'll go ahead and attach the YouTube videos that I have watched down below, and that way if you wanna see like how they did it, you can kind of see where I got where I gained my knowledge on how to do this, because definitely not my idea. So I'm going to uncoil it, and I'm also I'm going to add a few pages of these notes. So that requires me to now uncoil this. Eek. All right, so I'm nervous. Gotta tell you, I'm nervous. So first things first. You're gonna need some tools. It's really pretty simple. Okay, you're gonna need, let's see, you're gonna need these little clips. So I have these big clips, but I didn't really have a whole lot of them. So I do have some more in this color, and then I do have like these little ones, but I don't think I'll use those. But the bigger the clip, the better, because you're going to want to clip your pages. And then you're going to want some pliers. Okay, so I got two different kinds here. I've got this one, which has got kind of like a narrower nose. And then I have this one, which is definitely thicker, but it's might be easier. I don't know, we'll see. And then I have some painter's tape here, and I decided to grab the painter's tape rather than washi because it's a little bit thicker. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to wrap it around the pliers, so that way these little indentations, like these little teeth that are on the pliers, are not going to damage the coil. All right, so first I'm going to remove the cover on this one and the back cover as well. And then I'm also going to remove the cover from my notes because I'm also going to be uncoiling this as well. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I swear, I'm just like, ugh. And actually, I think I'm gonna move those stickers to the back of the notes. I think that that's a really good place for me to house the stickers. So they're kind of like in a nice place. You want to kind of like make sure all of your papers are together, because what you want to do is you want to create like where all the holes are matched up really nice. And then you want to clip this. So I'm going to use these. I hope that fits. Yes. Okay. Now I feel like, so like I said, you want to make sure it matches up really good. So take the time that you need to do that because it is going to be important. Okay. So you want to clip it on the top, and then you want to clip it on the bottom. All right. So there we go. Oh my gosh, it's all clipped and ready. Now, what I had seen is that you do not have to uncoil, or I should say not uncoil. You don't have to bend or take the bend out of both ends. You could do it off of one end, and then you just sort of have to like clear this one, the first like twist. So I'm going to attempt to do that, I think. And I definitely want to use the narrower nose because otherwise it's going to be too thick. And then I want to grab my painter's tape, or if you want to use washi, or I even saw somebody use just like Scotch tape, but you definitely want to like kind of like cover up these teeth and make it a much smoother surface there, because otherwise you're definitely going to leave those little teeth marks on your coil, and I do not want to do that. So I am wrapping up my pliers. Ah, my tape got stuck. Okay, let's see here. And these are just like regular pliers. I do believe that there are like tools out there that you can get. And I'm actually an optician. So in all honesty, like you could use like, I could totally see myself using a plier that has like a silicone coating on here to keep it a little bit more protected. That's what I used to use when I would adjust glasses. I think it's good. I think it's like well protected. It's got a nice little cushion on it. And you just sort of want to create, you want to like bend the coil. And the funny thing is like I even see a mark on here. I didn't do anything, but that's like how it came. So that's obviously what they do when they put these together. They like bend the coil down. So you want to kind of create this in to go in a circle, because this is going to like roll out and you want the paper to go through there with ease. So, oh yikes, wish me luck. Let's see. So it's really not that hard. You don't have to use a whole lot of muscle. Okay. I had to get up a little closer there. So I think that's good. I'm trying to create like a nice, even, see what I did there? So it kind of like curves around. Now this should uncoil pretty easily. I don't know if I want to move this. I think I'm going to move it just a little bit because I think it would be a little bit easier. Like I won't run into like possibly fraying the top pages. So I'm going to just move it up, I think a little bit. Yeah. All right, I lied. I moved it up more than that, but I think it'll like be to my benefit. All right, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh. All right, so definitely have to clear this a little bit, okay? But it's past there. You see how I move that past there? And now it's uncoiling. Oh my gosh. So this part I think is probably the easy part, but I can see how like your pages can kind of get a little frayed because you see how this is not like, I think it needs to be a little straighter. Oh no, I think I went too far. All right, maybe not. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, it's really easy, guys. It's super easy. It's super intimidating, but it's super easy. And I decided to start with the notebook because it's just so much smaller as far as like how much paper there is. But this is good. Like this is good, guys. Like now I want to make sure I lay this down because I really want to make sure that that's the top because that one's got more of a bend. So when I go ahead and like kind of like recoil it, it'll be easier for me, hopefully, to do this. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is so crazy. I never thought that I would be doing this. So I am doing this in real time with you. I thought I would just kind of speed it up because I thought I would need to do that, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So, all right, here we go. I'm getting towards the end and it's done. All right, so this is the top. So I'm gonna lay that to the side. Whoops, so I don't flip that around. Okay, so here are my pages. Oh my God, this is so crazy. So crazy. Okay, now here is where the real challenge I feel like is gonna come. Not so much with bending it or uncoiling it, but just with keeping this monster together, because look at that. All right, so that's why I have like so many clips here, because honestly, I don't know how many I'm really gonna need. So I tried to grab like all of my monster clips. So I have a bunch of them here. I think I have an uneven number, but I'm gonna try to make this work the best that I can. Okay, so first things first. Now with this one, you've got tabs here to deal with too. So you wanna do the same thing. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna section it the best that I can. I'm gonna try to grab it in 2 sections. I think the 2 sections are going to be like doable. So I want to even up my paper. So I might be speeding this up a little bit because it might take me a little bit longer to put these all together. But I really think by taking your time and doing this will be beneficial. All right, so this definitely proved to be a little bit more challenging to get it all lined up. All right, now the next thing, I have to unbend the coil. See, so I can't really like lay it like that because you see how it's, you know, the clips are obviously in the way. I tried to put them at different points. Let me try to move this one. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Just try to have, you know, 2 over here and 2 over here. Okay, the next thing is straightening the coil. And I really feel like that's like super important, is to get like a really good first kind of like bend up on here. Kind of want to hold it. You have a little bit more coil to work with because it's bigger. And I sort of marked the teeth marked it a little bit with the teeth. So yeah, so this works great, but the amount of pressure that you need to put on this one, because I feel like the coil is thicker, it's like the teeth are kind of going through here. So I'm going to add a little bit more tape to kind of protect it better. So maybe after each time you use the pliers on the coil, it might be advisable to like add some more tape to give it a little bit more cushion. Now, if you do this a lot, I know that like jewelry tools you can get will have like that silicone coating on there, and you know, you might want to invest in that, but I was not about to buy a tool just to uncoil this and coil it back, because this is so much more cost effective. Okay. All right. So let's see. Now this one, okay, that lines up really nice. Now I am not going to bend the top one. I don't like the way that that left some teeth marks on there. I'm a little disappointed with that. So I think I'm going to have to be really careful with my rose gold coil when I rebend that, because the gunmetal one, it kind of blends in, so it's not so bad. So let's start to uncoil this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this, see, because it's bigger, so you can kind of hold it away from the top here when you start it off. Let's see what happens here. Okay, it's a little tricky to do, I have to admit, but it's doable. Oh my gosh, here it comes. Oh my gosh. So I'm definitely gonna probably speed this up, because I feel like this is gonna take me a little bit longer, but I think once I get past that little bit, I think I'll be better. Okay, now I think it just needs to go a little bit more here to get it past there. All right, so I think I'm good now that it's like past there. But yeah, this is a big coil. Oh my goodness, that's like huge. It's a lot. It's like a lot of paper. I think I'm more scared about recoiling it than uncoiling it. So we'll see what happens. My paper looks good. I don't feel like it's done any damage, but turning it this way is good. Like if you're right-handed, this is definitely, now this is taking a lot longer. And I wonder, nope. It's definitely taking longer, so I want to speed it up. Oh my gosh, I did it. Holy cow. All right, so again, I want to make sure that's the top, so I want to just put it to the side, and that was a little crazy. All right, so here is my planner. Oh my gosh, that was a little tricky, but it came through really nice. My pages did not get marred up, so I'm hoping that I will have really good luck when I recoil it. So now comes the fun part, putting together my new planner. All right, so I'm going to unclip, and this is the back half, because I know I'm going to be like taking things out of this one. All right, hopefully, oh, see, I forgot about that foil on that folder, but it's okay, it's not bad. It's just got a little bit of a mark, but it's not horrible. It's like, it's nothing that it probably wouldn't have just with normal usage. So that's okay. All right, so now I have to think about my folder. What do I want to do? But I'm going to put it to the side for now. And I know for sure the notes is coming out because that I'm going to move. Here, let me move this. Sorry, these are the notes. I need to keep everything organized here. I didn't like separate it. I just grabbed it. All right, so here we go. So here's the planner, the main guts, the beginning part of it. So from July through December into March. All right, so here's that, okay, for sure. Now, I need to decide, is this gonna bother me if the tabs are uneven? Like, do I really, okay, so before, let's see, let me move this over here and let's move the notes, and I'm gonna take out the stickers because I don't want the stickers in here. I don't need them in here. And I think I want this. Okay, so here's my, let's see. Sorry, this is the first time I'm doing this. I'm trying to keep everything organized because obviously I don't want to be like uncoiling and recoiling if I put it together incorrectly, because I could totally see myself doing that. All right, so here's the beginning part pages, which I want to keep. And then here are my notes pages. Now, I definitely want all of these in here. And there was one page, yeah, this page is like weird. It's got like some like creases on there. See, it's like it got caught up somewhere. So I'm removing that because I have a page in there. And this one also has that, but I don't want to remove that because this has got heritage and awareness observances, which I want to keep that. And then the Let's Keep in Touch is got, on the back side of that is the 2024 year, like pre-planning, and then this back page. So I'm going to put it together like this. All right, so that is my intent here. And then I'm going to add some note pages in here. So let's put all of this together so that way I don't like mess things up. Now I need to decide, do I want to have this folder in here? That actually might be really nice to have the folder closer to the beginning, because I do like the folders, but I also know myself that if it's at the back of the planner, I'm never going to use it. But if it's at the front, I totally will. So I think I'm going to put that in there. I think that that is a good idea to have in here. And I really like it before July starts, because when you open up the planner, like let's look at August, it has like at the very end of the month, it ends with a notes page, which I don't know if I'm really going to use or not. So I'm thinking that I'm okay, but let me see here. Maybe I will add, no, I like it like this. I think this is nice. This opens up really nice. This right here looks beautiful with this. And then I think I might just put a notes page in here just to kind of create unison, like the same as like when you open it up and going into August. Because I don't know if I'm going to use this page. And you know what? It's the, I don't know. I'm going to just put page in there. It's not that big a deal. So let me come over here to my notes and open this up, because I want to grab some notes. Okay, so I just want to open that up because I want to grab. Okay, so I want to put in a notes page here. Okay, so we'll do that next to the folder. I think that's good. All right, so let's go ahead. I've got my vellum. I've got my name page. I've got the opening here into the year at a glance. I've got these gold pages, which are staying. And now I go into some notes here, and here's the tab. So I want to make sure that I load it after the notes tab. And if you notice, the paper from the notes is different from the paper from the planner, because the notes paper has this little Erin Condren branding on there, whereas the notes that come with the planner don't have that. So is that going to make a difference to me? Probably. So I'm going to make sure that I put the original note paper in. That needs to go at the end. And then I'm going to grab some note paper and put it in here. All right, now how many pages do I really need? Now I probably am grabbing a lot, but you know what? I'm going to make it an even 10. And you know why? Because I'd rather have more than less, because I can always take them out just by tearing them out as opposed to adding them in. All right. Okay, so now that is how my planner is going to be. So I've got my notes in the front, and I've got all of my extra note pages in here. And then I've got my heritage and awareness observances, my contact page, my planning ahead for 2024, and then I have my folder, unless I move my folder. So there is another option. I don't want it right in the front, that's for sure, but I could have it like here. That's kind of a neat idea. All right, so it took me a little while to decide, but I did decide the placement of the folder. I had thought about putting it in between these two pages, but then I thought, you know what, that's a lot of color all in one place. So I like having it behind the notes, but before the month starts. So I think that's good. And then I did add in 2 pages of notes in between here. So that way, if something were to happen to the one page, I kind of have a backup. Or if I decide to do something specific with this, I just have like an extra page just in case things happen. All right, now the next thing I need to decide is how much of the planner, like how many months do I really want to keep in here? All right, so what I decided to do was just go ahead and remove the full 6 months from the planner. So I went ahead and removed starting from July of 2023 through the end of the year. So that is for sure going to be out of the planner, and that will give the planner enough room to grow as I add stickers in there, because it is going to get, you know, it's going to get thicker. So I wasn't quite sure, because I didn't like the way that it looked kind of like unfinished here with the tabs, because you see how there's like these 2 tabs that are not like all the way to the end. And I thought about a couple different things. I thought about just leaving like those 2 months in, but then I realized I don't think I'm taking enough out of this, you know, to give the planner enough room like to grow, so it's got plenty of room on the coil, because I really don't want it to be like so squished that it's not going to close, you know, once I get into this more. So what I decided to do was I added a couple of note pages on the back. So if I do decide maybe I want to add a couple of tabs in here just to kind of like finish that out, then I actually have that those pages already in here to do that. So, and plus it gives it like kind of a little bit extra pages back here. So I think that I'm good with what I have here. So now I need to re-clip this. Now there's no way that all of this is going to fit on one clip. It's just not. It's still too thick. So I'm going to have to split it the way that I did before, but I kind of want to split it a little bit better than what I did. So I think I'm going to grab it by the end it by the tab there, because last time I just kind of grabbed it in the middle anywhere. And you want to like make sure that your holes are lined up the best that they can be. So like I said, this is worth taking your time to do, because you want to get that lined up nice. And I have a feeling this is going to be much trickier because it's going to be two bundles that are going to have to be like coiled back together. All right, so that is my planner. It's set and ready to go. This is my notebook that all I did was, of course, take paper out, and then I'm adding in the stickers that I took out of the planner. And I think I want to put this one back together first. I don't know, this big one really intimidates me, like the planner. I'm so nervous about this, but let's see. I think I clipped it a little bit better this time around, so hopefully that'll work in my favor. Okay, so here we go. Now I've got my coil here, and this was the top, and this one is feeding in this way. Okay, so hopefully you see how all of the holes are like lined up really nice. So now we're gonna feed this coil back in, and I would definitely take my time with this because you want to be careful when you're feeding it through. You don't want the pages to get like nicked up, because remember, this is like kind of rough here, the end of the coil. So if you know, that's why it's important to kind of straighten it up and kind of conform it the best that you can, especially the end that you're threading through. So that way you don't like tear things up. So it's definitely worth like taking your time. And I know it's time consuming, so just kind of taking your time and feeding it through. And you see what I'm doing here? I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. I'm bringing it through, and then you see how it will get caught there if you like really force it through quickly. So you kind of want to like press it down so you can bring it through and it comes through nice and clean. And then the same thing on that side. So it's definitely worth taking the time to feed it through slowly. All right, so I'm gonna speed this up. All right, so I managed to get the coil back on. There was only one little teeny tiny, and you can't even see it, where it kind of got caught up a little bit on the paper, but I caught it in enough time so it didn't tear it. But it's definitely worth like taking your time to do that, so that way you can avoid, you know, kind of getting the paper tore up. Now, let's go back to our pliers, because now we need to bend these back so it doesn't come uncoiled as you're using it. So now I think I'm gonna try to use the pliers. I think it'll be good. I'm gonna come up in here. I'm gonna come in a little bit further. Let's see. This is tricky. All right, so bending that back in was definitely a little tricky. It was harder than bending it back out. I thought for sure it'd be harder to bend it. I thought this was gonna be the easier part, but I was wrong. So now I'm gonna do the end. All right, that was really tricky, like getting that bent back in, and I'm thinking maybe because this coil is so much like smaller in diameter, it's harder to kind of work in there. So let's see how it turned out once I take this apart. Obviously it's fine as far as it like being put back together, but now how, okay, we're good. I think we're good. Oh my gosh, yay. Now it did mar up the coil just a little bit. So that's something you kind of want to think about if you're going to do this. And then as I was bending it back, the pages kind of got just a little bit here on the edge and on the edge here, and then like in the back. So definitely by uncoiling and recoiling these notebooks and planners, there's some risk involved, obviously. So you just want to be wary of that if you choose to do this stuff. And then of course on this one, I'm glad that I did not bend this. So the only one that I need to bend back is going to be this one here. So this needs to just bend back this way, but it's got more of a diameter, it's bigger. So I'm hoping that it won't be as challenging. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna get it started. And I think turning it like this might be easier because what I'm doing is now I can see the holes this way. So my vantage point this way is good. So once I get it started, then I'll like kind of turn it and show you, but I just wanna get it started. And obviously it's like so thick, so you gotta make sure you're getting it through all of the pages. So you sort of have a few more pages to contend with when you're feeding this through, and you wanna make sure that you are doing it like slowly because this is sharp and it will totally tear your page. So I started it that way. It's definitely harder to do because it's thicker. And I feel like this is like kind of like got this really crazy like little curve to it. If it was straighter, it would be easier. So let me back this out and maybe try to straighten that out just a little bit. All right, so I don't think it really straightened out anymore. It's still got like that little curve there. And by the way, if you are doing that, move your planner out of the way because I swear this thing slipped out and I thought I tore my planner. Had a little bit of a moment there. So it's all good though. So let's bring it back and let's try this again. Hopefully, because if I'm struggling on that first, like that second hole there, I think this actually, I guess it did work a little bit better. Okay, so that's good. So definitely still struggling because of that little curve. But hopefully I'll kind of get my groove in here because it's kind of like getting hung up as I'm coming, like it's through, but it's taking a little while. So you can see how important it is to straighten that out, but I just did the best that I could because honestly, the coil is pretty thick. So it's kind of hard to like, kind of like adjust it the way you want. So I'm hoping that everything is like feeding through here and I'm not missing anything. Nope, that's good. So I wonder if I did it in pieces, if that would be, no, that's not any easier because see, it's just getting hung up right in that little lip there. So, and then this actually, that actually went through a little bit better. So of course I'm gonna speed this up and I'll be back, but you could see how I'm just kind of like gingerly feeding it through here, but it does kind of get stuck. All right, so I wanted to come back in like mid coiling because I wanted to share with you that I discovered I took the clips off of the second batch and it's actually moving a lot more smoothly. And I remember one of my friends who does this saying that if you unclip the pages, she has found that it's easier when it comes to recoiling because you kind of have a little bit more leeway as far as like moving the pages around. They're not like locked in to that. And I have to admit that, yeah, I'm finding it way easier that the pages are not clipped. So I think I'm gonna unclip these as well because I think that that might make it easier for me still. So it's like pretty together, you know what I mean? It's not like starting off. So maybe starting it off, that's a great idea, but then when you kind of get in here, see how it's feeding through so much easier? So I really think that she is right. And that is my friend Mimi. And thank you, Mimi. I'm so glad that I watched your video, because look at, that's so much easier. So you're able to kind of manipulate the pages. They're still lined up and they're still feeding through. It's just that they're a little bit more like pliable when you're feeding this back through. All right, so because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I do not want to do this. This is crazy. Now I'm getting towards the end here. So now here's where you kind of want to keep an eye, because again, I did not unbend that top. So I want to kind of like feed it through gently so it doesn't really get hung up on the pages. So you just kind of want to get that last one through without like tearing up your pages here by pulling that out. See how I'm pulling that out and away? And there we go. Oh my gosh. All right, so now it's back together. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, but let's go ahead and bend this back. So this is where things get tricky. So it obviously just needs to be bent down. I think maybe I was kind of bending the other one a weird way. It was very hard to work with because again, this is a much smaller space, whereas this one you have a little bit more room to work with. So hopefully that works to my advantage. So I need to take this and I need to bend it like this way. So let's see what happens. All right, well, it didn't quite bend the way I wanted it to. But I'm hoping, see how that's like kind of sticking out like this way? Let's see if I could bring it in. Now the real test will be to see if it's going to flip, and it looks like I'm good. Oh my gosh, that was actually a lot of work, and I don't know if I would want to do that again. So I'm glad I decided to keep in the full year. So it's going to be from July through June. And then here are my covers. All right, so this goes up here. Wow, okay, so there's definitely a technique that I apparently do not have to put these covers back on, because I'm just used to like a different system. So that was a little bit of a struggle for me, but I got them back on. I did bring my little planner here. This one, I had it on the side so I could kind of reference it a little bit while I was putting things like back together. So if you have an extra Erin Condren around, I highly recommend that you do that, so you have it to the side and you can kind of reference it. But I am, you know what? I am happy. I like the way that worked. It definitely took a little time. I'm glad I put my stickers like in here. Oh my gosh, I thought I put them in here upside down. I would have been like, yeah, they're staying. But I think that this is a great place. Also a great way to store like your extra stickers if you don't want to like have them in your planner. So that's an idea for you. And then I'm excited. I'm excited to set this up. So I definitely will have a separate video with how I'm going to be actually setting this up, what I'm going to be using, how I'm going to put like all of my things in here. And so make sure that you are subscribed and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my content, because I've got some really interesting, fun, useful things coming your way, and I'm excited to share those with you. I'm excited to be setting this up and kind of take my time with putting it all together and getting kind of familiar and comfortable with it. All right, well, I hope that you enjoy this video. I know it was probably longer than, or maybe not, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when I go through and kind of speed things up throughout and edit. So if it's really long, I'm sorry, but I really wanted to show you like from beginning to end. And this is the first time I've done this. I have not done this at all. So I think it was just my years of being an optician kind of helped me out with being able to like maneuver the wire. But I definitely have to say that, I mean, it's thick, like it's thick and it's strong, so it's good quality. So that's a good thing. But when you want to do something like this, it's a little tricky, but I don't know if I'd do it again. I don't know. And have you done this? Let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if it's something you do regularly, any tips, ideas that you have that you want to share with me or anybody else, then I welcome any tips and ideas always, and just always. So feel free, drop a comment down below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like, remember to subscribe, like, drop a comment. All of those things really do help YouTube know that you are enjoying my content, and therefore they will go ahead and share it with more people. All right, well, thank you again so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know that your time is valuable, and I really appreciate you spending a little bit of it here with me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.